All right, working on restoring this Jazz Gio body, or this Ibanez Gio body. We have painted and we have clear coated with this color and with this clear coat. This is Duplicolor, this is a dark blue pearl, this is a matte clear coat. If you want to see those processes, it starts right here. So what we have here is and here's a close-up shot of what's happened. When we finished putting on the clear coat, we put on coat after coat after coat. We used virtually the whole can. And what we've ended up with is a very rough, sandpapery feeling finish on the guitar. And I panicked at first, to be quite honest, but then I realized that when people do this to cars, there's a sanding process, a wet sanding process that happens actually on top of the clear. And this is what gives you that finish at the end. It also reminded me when I was a kid, I learned that if you take polishing compound on a vehicle fender and you rub too long or too hard with too much pressure, it will literally rub the paint off. The reason why is because polishing compound is abrasive, just like this sandpaper. And so really when you're polishing something, you're actually sanding it. You're just doing it very finely. All right, so our materials today, we've just got a white cloth. Here's our guitar body, which is actually looking rather spectacular, but it doesn't feel all that good. It's very rough. Got a bowl of filtered water and then a sanding block. And then we're gonna have some 2500 grit and even a piece of 3000 grit as well. And those are the materials to try to get this thing sorted out. And so what we're gonna do today, I've got my sanding block here. I'm going to put in a sheet of 2500 grit sandpaper and a little water, and then we're going to wet sand this guitar. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm very nervous about this because when I wet sanded the primer, you may recall, if you want to see that, you can see that right here. When I wet sanded the primer, it took some of the primer off. And I'm very concerned about this, but I have watched this process being done by others with more experience, and I'm going to be bold and jump out there and do it. And we're just going to start on a flat surface here. This is very rough right here. I mean, this right here, you know, if I just lightly drag my nails across it, it feels like an emery board. It's very, very rough. So we're going to try to get this sanded down to where it's smooth. And so I'm going to drop a little water on there. And I'm going to dip my entire sanding, make sure all this sandpaper is good and wet here. And then we're just going to until it feels smooth. I brought this towel along to kind of be a guide for me. I'm kind of working the areas that are going to be under the pick guard. All right, I think this is working. Now I'm not pressing hard, and you can see I am taking off some color, which I guess is all right. This will be under the pick guard here. So we're going to go by feel here. You can actually feel the vibration through the grip on the sanding block as we're working through the material. I'm just going to kind of blot here and get some of this water out of this cavity here. Yeah, you know, I guess this is what a matte finish should look like. So now right here, on this flat part here, I haven't sanded it at all, and there's quite a difference. You can actually see it, I think. All right, so now I'm just going to give it a good wipe down here. Dump some of this water out. And you know, it is no longer rough on the top. I can say that definitively. And it's not shiny because it's not supposed to be, but it actually looks kind of good. Yeah, okay, let's do the back. Again, the back is very rough. Kind of has a sandpapery feel to it. So once again, I'm gonna get my paper nice and wet. It's working. It's working pretty well, I think. You see. Well, two things I know for sure. Summertime is coming, and you can see some colors coming off, but not much, and really, it's working pretty well. Whew, take a quick break. And while we do, I want to remind you, if you want some stuff, I've got stickers and pics I'd love to send to you. I just sent out a boatload last week, and I got tons left. So if you'd like some free pics and stickers to use for whatever, like, I don't know, help me promote the channel, but also just to have fun, then write me, and I would be happy to send them out to you free of charge. No charge, no strings. Just send them out there to you. And also, I'm always taking Forever Home placement nominations for these instruments. Our wonderful harmony guitar has been placed in Alabama. It's being played right now. You can see the unboxing is pretty cool. The new Forever Home of that. He's a Navy veteran, and his dad signed him up to receive the guitar because he wants to teach him how to play as kind of part of his process of transitioning back into civilian life, which can be tough for some guys. And so AJ is going to be taking guitar lessons from his dad, who's been playing his whole life. So now they each have an instrument, and they can experience the joy of making music together as father and son. So I wish them well, and I know that harmony is in a great Forever Home. This is going to have a Jazzmaster neck put on it and some cool electronics, and it will be ready to go to a Forever Home. So if you know of a good Forever Home for this guitar, let me know, and I'll put you in the stack, and then we'll make a selection, and we'll announce where this guitar will be heading out when we're done. Still got a lot of work to do. Got to put all the electronics together, get them installed, get the neck on, then we'll start the setup process. This was really an aggressive project. Really kind of took it down to the, at least on the body anyway, down to bare bones. The good news is we won't have to do anything to the neck. The neck is brand new, so the frets are perfect, the nuts should be perfect, everything should be fine. Brand new tuners and all that. So that'll be coming up. But now, let's get back to this sanding process. You know what I think? I think we have ourselves a blue guitar that looks kind of pearly. And boy. Now, I will confess, when I did the pour fill, and I noticed this before, but I didn't want to mention it, I didn't do a great job. For whatever reason, there are two major spots where it's really going to show up. One is on the top here where I had all those drips, if you remember. I sanded those, and those drips are still there, and I don't know how to get rid of them. And then also on the front, there was a low spot here, and that really, kind of didn't turn out super great. But I'm not too worried about it because overall, I think it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take some Dunlop's guitar polish to it to clean it because I think it's got a lot of, this liquid goo all over it. I'm going to forego the 3000 sandpaper and just go, but if you look at this in the sun, it's got some imperfections. I'm going to clean it and see how much of that is wet dust, but I think we're going to call the finished job complete on this guitar. So just show it to you. Here's the front, around the sides. There's some milkiness to the finish. I'm not sure if that's going to stay or not, but it's unique. I'll tell you that right now. But it feels good. All that abrasive sandpapery feel is gone now. And I think I'm just going to leave well enough alone. I'm going to take it back up into the studio, apply some guitar polish to it, clean it real good. I have a feeling I'm going to be pulling a lot more of, this kind of stuff off of it, which is just the sanded material that's dried on here. It's quite warm today. I apologize for the sweating. Yeah, and then next time we're gonna get the electronics together. I'm gonna show you all that stuff. I know I was gonna do it this time, but then I'd forgotten I had to do this wet sanding process. But I promise now we're done with this part and we're gonna be inside, which is good because it's getting hot. It's May 1st here in Texas and it's pretty hot out here already. So we're gonna call this good, and then next time on Guitar Foster Parent, we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the electronics I got. We're going black on this. So a sneak preview, black pick guard, black back plate. Was not able to find any bridge of any color, but I cleaned up the original one. It works fine. So we'll have a chrome bridge. I was originally going to go a black output jack, but I'm going to stay chrome so that we'll match up here. This also will have a tremolo bar, which will be chrome as well. And but we will have a black pick guard with black screws and black pickups. So we'll show you all that and how it's going to go together. I got a really cool humbucker for this. I can't wait to hear how it sounds. And then I got covers for the single coils because they seem to be okay. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Guitar Foster Parent.